Hi, my name is Denville Duncan. I'm an Associate Professor of Economics at the O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs. In this video, I review the results of a paper I co-authored with Philip Dornberg and Daniel Lee. In the paper, we ask the following question. Do workers use information about employers' race or sex when making labor supply decisions? Data for the analysis are obtained from a field experiment where we randomly assign subjects to one of 5 groups. Subjects in each group are shown a picture of a hand holding a gasoline receipt. They're then asked if they would like to transcribe information from the receipt for payment. Whether subjects transcribe images or not, they all complete a post-treatment survey. Data from the analysis are used to estimate the following regression. On the left-hand side, we have our outcome variable. And in the analysis, we use 3 measures of outcome. The first is the decision to transcribe, which is binary, yes or no. The second is number of images transcribed, conditional on agreeing to transcribe images. And the third is the accuracy of the transcriptions. On the right-hand side, we have our treatment variable, which we operationalize in 2 ways. The first is the randomly assigned treatment, and the second is the perceived treatment. And since subjects first complete their labor supply decision before indicating their perception of treatment, we use the randomly assigned treatment as an instrument for perceived treatment. So what do we find in the analysis? Well, first, looking at the extensive margin decision to transcribe images, we find no evidence of a racial bias across employer types. This is true both for the randomly assigned treatment indicated here by the column full, as well as for the measures of perceived treatment indicated by IV and IV2. However, we find that these null results are masking some important heterogeneity based on the saliency of the treatment. And here we find that if the treatment was salient, subjects were more likely to transcribe for the minority groups, whereas if the treatment was non-salient, subjects were less likely to transcribe for the minority group. The fact that we're finding strong treatment effects, especially for sex, among the non-salient groups, suggests to us that these subjects might be trying to cover up some discriminatory behaviors at the point where they made their labor supply decisions. Next, we look at number of images transcribed. And here we find some results, particularly for the sex gap. Workers were transcribed more images for female employers compared to male employers. We do not find a similar gap when we cut the data by race of the employer. Next, we look at the accuracy of the transcriptions. And here we find that subjects were more accurate for female employers relative to male employers, but less accurate for Black employers relative to white employers. So at this point, we ask, are these results driven by taste or statistical discrimination? We argue that in our analysis, statistical discrimination would only arise if the workers have some uncertainty about the likelihood of being paid, and if this uncertainty is correlated with the race or sex of the employer. We conducted a separate survey of MTurkers, and the results from that survey suggest that there is no correlation between the race or sex of the employer and the likelihood of being paid. This suggests to us that our results are not driven by statistical discrimination. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you will take the time to read the paper for more.